Now, I'm assuming that you are gathering in Finland because we have the presidency of the council. So brief words about the priorities from the point of view of the Environment Council from the government side. So given the specific circumstances of institutional change in the European Union when we entered into the presidency, we have given ourselves three priorities. Advancing EU's global leadership in climate action, ambitious work on biodiversity post-2020, and advancing circular economy. All of these have strong links to agriculture and how land is used. As regards climate, we wish to advance the process to reach common agreement on the main elements of the EU's long-term climate strategy before the end of the year, as requested by the European Council, and that is to commit to climate neutrality by 2050 at the latest. Now, my government has an ambitious objective to be climate neutral by 2035, and this is very ambitious, and is based also on our understanding of what is required from Finland what it means to in terms of the Paris Agreement commitment to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. Now, if all of the emissions of agriculture are put together, so those from animal product, the methane and nitrous oxide from animal production, manure and fertilizer use, which are reported under agriculture in the inventory, and the CO2 from soils, which is reported under LULUCF, as well as energy, which is reported under another category in the inventory. If all of those are put together, the agriculture sector represents 20% of total greenhouse gas emissions in Finland. Now, those emissions have been relatively stable until now, but given our commitment to climate neutrality, this will have to change. And this is where organic farming has potentially a large role to play. The government program is also committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions specifically from the agricultural sector and increasing the related carbon sinks. And again, explicitly, the continuous plant cover and controlled subsurface drainage will be increased to promote carbon sequestration in agricultural lands. The measures under the future CAP environmental payment system will be carried out in a way that reduces emissions from agriculture. The main focus will be on carbon sequestration again and low carbon operation as well as competitiveness. We are also committed to explore market-driven mechanisms to compensate farmers for soil carbon sequestration based on results. Now, as regards our second presidency priority, biodiversity, the harsh truth is that we are severely lagging behind our goals for stopping the loss of biodiversity, both in Europe and globally. The problem is not the goal, the problem is in the implementation. Habitat loss, unsustainable practices in the way we manage land and waters, and increasing use of natural resources are crucial parts of the problem. Again, agriculture and organic farming are a solution to the problems that we are seeking to address. Now, during the Finnish presidency, we will be preparing council conclusions on biodiversity to give input to the new post-2020 global framework, as well as the EU biodiversity strategy. And we hope and are rather confident that we are able to give clear and explicit guidance on the need to ensure coherence of common agricultural policy with the biodiversity objectives. Our third priority for the presidency has been to advance EU work on circular economy. We feel very strongly that the move to an economy, a circular economy, is a crucial part and a solution for both tackling climate change as well as biodiversity loss and pressure on natural capital. So we see also a role for circular economy in agriculture, and in particular as regards circularity of nutrients and capturing the energy and manure and bio-waste in the form of biogas. Now, this program for nutrient recycling has originally been developed to diminish nutrient load to surface waters and the Baltic Sea. The nutrient recycling is also an essential part of organic farming, since the selection of nutrient input sources is limited. Our government is committed to promoting production and use of biogas, also for reducing the need to clear peatlands for spreading manure, and to be able to reduce emissions from transport and mobile machinery. Now, you know, the peatlands and emissions from peatlands and clearing of peatlands is a big issue and big source of emissions in Finland. So we really think that this win-win solution of developing a solution for manure and not clearing the lands will be a good one. So this is something that everybody can agree is a very good solution. Now, as regards organic farming, this is, as you know, not in the Environment Ministry's portfolio, but of course something that is dear to us all. And the government has very strong commitment to increasing the share of domestic organic products in food production, in food processing, in domestic consumption, and in exports. Another piece of good news is that the funding of the Finnish Organic Research Institute will be strengthened and consolidated. We also have commitments to maintain the funding of organic production, or to secure the funding for organic production in 2020. Public procurement has a role to play, especially the catering services, in improving the sustainability of the food system. A national climate food program will be prepared with the goal of minimizing the climate footprint of the food consumed and improving understanding on how food is produced. Now, with respect to meat, eggs, and milk, local governments will be guided to give preference to Finnish local and organic production. Now, your theme here today has been the CAP reform. And as said, the agricultural sector has a big role to play also in other environmental objectives that we have, and certainly in line with the long-term climate strategy. Now, we know that the Commission expects 40% of the CAP funding to be used to benefit climate, but this is not mandatory. So from our perspective, of course, as presidency, when our government is fairly new, so we entered in the government last summer, and during the presidency, Finland has been an honest broker and has not been pushing its national position. But if this issue is not concluded during our presidency, which it seems that it will not be, at least not the final deal, we have also, as a government, committed, will be looking into revising our own position. And as a personal preference, I was just talking to Eric as well, that I would really hope that the new parliament that was elected on very pro-climate, pro-environment ticket, that they will have a look at this and perhaps make some amendments that will make it possible for the new Commission to also align, and for governments like ours also to reconsider. So with those thoughts, I would just like to thank you for all the work you do, and motivate you to work even harder at the European level and at the national level to promote organic farming here.